hadn't thought about that tape in years. Not really. Not seriously. Sure, the images would crawl in sometimes. In dreams, in long showers, when my mind was idle and stupid and forgot to protect itself. But I'd built a life around forgetting. A wife, a daughter, a job in corporate design, far from TV. All clean lines and empty smiles. And then, 3 weeks ago, I get the USB in the mail. No note, no return address, just my name scribbled on the envelope in red ink. All caps. Not my full name, either. Just the one that interns used to call me at Nickelodeon. A name I hadn't heard out loud in almost 15 years. I should have thrown it away. Every part of me screamed that. But I didn't. Of course I didn't. The drive held only one file. staticred.mov. Timestamped July 13th, 2025, 2:03 a.m. 12.4 megabytes. That size was the first weird thing. You don't get video that small anymore. Not unless it's pure garbage or hiding something. I ran it in a sandboxed virtual environment. I've worked in digital media security for a while. I'm not careless. But all precautions felt like child's play once the video began. The first frame was nothing. Just red static. Not the black and white snow from old TVs, but this undulating, bleeding red. It pulsed like a heartbeat, slow at first. Deep bass thumps followed each pulse. I thought maybe it was broken. Just a glitched animation. Then a frame flashed. So fast I couldn't be sure if I saw it. I scrubbed back. Frame by frame. And there. A single eyeball. Not stylized, not cartoon, not hyper-realistic. Real. It looked wet, fresh, blood around the socket, the optic nerve like a ripped wire. Centered in the frame like it was looking at me. I pulled my hand away from the keyboard. Something deep and dormant shifted inside my chest. Like a bell had been rung in a basement that hadn't been opened since 2005. More static, more pulses, then a sound. A clarinet. Just a single note, flat and breathy, like someone who hadn't practiced in years, trying to remember. I shut it off. Closed the virtual machine, disconnected the machine, went upstairs and stood in my daughter's doorway for 15 full minutes just listening to her sleep. I told myself it was nothing. A prank. Someone had read the Creepypasta. They wanted to get under my skin. A troll with too much time and too good an eye for detail. And then the dreams started again. Squidward's face. but not sad this time. He was smiling. Now that wasn't part of the original. In the dream, he was underwater, arms out like a marionette. No strings, just drifting. His eyes were open and ruined, leaking something darker than blood. It wasn't red, it was static. Pixelated black noise pouring from his sockets into the ocean around him. The sound in the dream wasn't music, it was that voice from the original episode. The one that said, "Do it." Except this time, it said my name. I tried to tell myself that none of it mattered, that I was just stressed, getting old. Memory has a funny way of chewing on trauma until it's soft enough to swallow, but it didn't feel like memory anymore. It felt like something that was unfinished. I tracked down an old contact. I won't name him. If you were there, you'd know who I mean. He lives alone now, upstate, doesn't speak to anyone from the industry. When I called, there was a long pause after I said who I was. And then he asked, "Have you seen the red static, too?" We met the next day. His place was lined with newspaper, taped over the windows like he expected fallout. He was pale, his hands shook. He said others had received the same USB. Former staff, editors. One of the interns who left the room early in 2005. She got hers in May. Her brother found her in the attic, hanging. Laptop open. A still image burned into the screen. Squidward, mid-frame, smiling. The others are disappearing. Some are just going dark online, and some are worse. He said the episode wasn't a fluke. It wasn't hacked. It was planted. He believes, maybe even knows, that there's something inside that footage. Not a virus, but an idea. An infection that lives in pixels and sound. A pattern that invites itself into your perception, into your memories. It sleeps there and waits. He looked me dead in the eyes and said, "You shouldn't have watched it twice." But I haven't. Not yet, anyway. That was 3 days ago. He hasn't answered his phone since. Last night, my daughter walked into the living room around 3 a.m. She was crying. Said the TV turned on by itself. Said that it was just red snow. Said someone was playing music, really bad, like broken music. When I asked what she heard, she said a word I haven't said in 20 years. Squidward. I checked the TV. Still off, HDMI unplugged, but when I turned my head, just for a second, the screen flickered red. I think the episode was never the point. It was a door, and now it's open again. I won't watch the file a second time. I think that's how it gets in. I buried the USB in the woods behind the house. But every time I walk past the living room, I swear I hear it. That breathy, broken note. Faint. Getting closer. And now every time I close my eyes, I see that smile, wider than before. Like he knows something I don't. Like he's still waiting.